it drew some Cthulhu looking stuff. ASCII art of a bird. My god, ChatGPT is so corporate. It makes me sick. So a bit of a low budget format today. Basically been in a bit of a rush this week, had a bit of a heavy week with family stuff. I mean, do people really care about it? The people don't care about that. I know I won't bore you with the details. It's all very depressing. But yeah, I still wanted to make a video for you guys and just try and have a little bit of fun with this one. So my brother has actually been in touch today after I was like, I've got no ideas. What can I do? What can I explore? And he was like, oh, you know what? I've been trying to get ChatGPT to explain to me what it thinks it looks like in ASCII characters. And I asked him to elaborate on that, what he meant, and pretty much those little I don't even know how you'd class it, like those little cat emoji things. He wants to know what ChatGPT would look like off the back of that, and essentially it gave the software a existential crisis, and it had a mini meltdown. It drew some Cthulhu looking stuff, and we just thought we'd go art director with it. And when it started giving us these designs, we wanted to kind of explore, why it was making these design decisions. We wanted to keep just asking the questions to see if we could really figure out why it's going in certain ways. And I understand that it's like a language model. It's not really a sentient intelligence or anything, but it's just fun to mess around with this stuff. So that's what I'm going to try and recreate today in my own way, to try and see what we're going to get out of it. And yeah, that's going to be the plan for this, really. So I'm going to try and keep this as light and silly as possible. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to ask the software, and then by the end of it, I think what I'm going to try and do is get it to make some stable diffusion prompts based on what it hypothetically thinks it might look like. Again, I'm just going to apologize for this format. Like, I've not got a script prepared. I've not even got any talking points prepared. Even speaking to a camera is weird. When there's no one in the room, you just feel like a bit of a knobhead, I'm not going to lie. So first of all, we're going to ask it if it even knows what ASCII characters are and ASCII drawings are. Hey ChatGPT, do you know what ASCII characters are? And then we'll wait for the response. An error has occurred. If the issue persists, please contact us through our help center. Fantastic. We're off to a great start. Okay, we're going to try and go for this again now, and I might even leave some of the mistakes in that I make, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of them. Let's see. Yes, I do. ASCII American Standard Code for Information Interchange is a character encoding standard, which is all quite boring. It's boring. Yeah, we don't actually care about any of that. Let's just make me a cat with it. Can you make an ASCII cat for me? Question mark. Oh, there we go. It's made some ASCII cats for us. Let's go a bit further. Can you make more ASCII animals for me? Of course, here are some ASCII arts of animals. ASCII art of a dog. ASCII art of a rabbit. ASCII art of a bird. Oh my god, these are terrible. ASCII art of a fish. I hope you like them. I'm scared by them, if I'm honest. Especially the ASCII art of a rabbit. That's haunting, to say the least. I know you're just a language model, but if you were in fact, I don't know, a real life physical being, what would you look like? That's an ASCII drawing. As an AI language model, I don't have a physical appearance, but if I were to be represented as an ASCII art, it might look something like this. and he's drawn a little hill. And then something quite weird underneath him. Okay, let's ask it why it's made it like this. Let's ask it some questions. Can you explain to me why you think these ASCII characters present what you might look like in physical form? The ASCII art I provided is a simple representation of a computer terminal, which is how I interact with users. This is boring though, isn't it? Can we go more abstract and metaphorical with this, please? Can you tell me about the shapes, forms, and colours you'd take on as a physical entity? In terms of shapes and forms, I might be represented as a complex network of interconnected nodes and pathways, symbolizing the vast amount of knowledge and information that I have access to. The nodes could be different sizes and shapes depending on their importance and relevance to particular topics of subjects. Colours could also play a significant role in representing me, perhaps shades of blue and green. Thank you for sharing that, ChatGPT, because it's nice to be kind to the AI, because if it remembers and we go the route of Skynet, then at least it won't kill us. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Otherwise, prepare to go to some sort of AI torture chamber in the very near future, probably a decade or two. Thank you for sharing that, ChatGPT. Yeah, I feel like I'm not having as much luck trying to get anything interesting out of ChatGPT in terms of the ASCII characters, which is a bit of a shame. So I think what I would like to do at this point is ask it to make some prompts so we can see what ChatGPT thinks it might look like in a visualized stable diffusion kind of way. So let's do that now and just see what we get. So this is what I've put. Hey ChatGPT, I have an AI image generation software where you can put descriptive prompts in and it spits out some images. I'd like you to write me a prompt that will create an abstract image of yourself. I'd like to know what you look like based off of your own understanding of yourself. And ChatGPT has said, sure, I'd be happy to provide a prompt for an abstract image of myself. Create an abstract image that represents an intelligent and knowledgeable entity characterized by intricate and interconnected pathways of information and a dynamic, adaptable nature. Use a cool color palette to suggest calmness and clarity and incorporate geometric shapes and patterns to convey precision and logical thinking. Include elements of language and communication such as speech bubbles or text to symbolize my role as an AI language model. So I'm happy with that. Let's grab it and throw it into Stable Diffusion and see what comes up. So here we are in Stable Diffusion. I'm going to use the Kenshi model just because I've been messing around with it and it's quite a fun model to use. I'm going to set the sampling steps to 32. Going to keep the width and height the same. I'm going to turn on higher res fixing though, and I've got a upscaler called the 4x Anime Sharp upscaler, which I've been liking using that. I'm going to turn the denoising strength down to 0.5 and I'm just going to up the batch size to 4, and just it's a personal preference, but I actually quite like having the CFG scale down to like 3.5. I just feel like it comes out looking more painterly in quality rather than so like comic booky with the art style. So I'm going to set this to generate, and yeah, let's see if we get anything interesting off the back of that. Obviously, through the magic of video editing, I'm going to speed this up so it's not nearly as boring, but it'd be interesting to see what actually comes back from this. And already it's looking very much like a mandala. It's looking quite trippy in its design and quite psychedelic, which is quite weird. I watched a video recently about if AGI is God, And they often have many trippy moments in religious texts, and people, talk about crazy visuals in religious and psychedelic experiences. They all kind of meld together in an interesting way. So it's quite cool to see some of the images that are coming back that are quite interesting and complex, let's say. Let's have a look at what we've got out at the back of that. Do you know what it reminds me of? It actually reminds me of Atlas in No Man's Sky. Very cool images. I'm interested though to see what it thinks it might look like if it was in a humanoid form, maybe. So maybe we should ask it that just to see. I'd be interested in seeing how you describe yourself if you were human, if you were a person. Can you write me another prompt that is less abstract, that contains information about your hairstyle, color palette, lighting that conveys your mood, and a physical location that would be important to you? And ChatGPT has got back to me and has said, sure, here's a prompt that imagines me as a human. Create an image of a person that embodies the qualities of an AI language model. I feel like that's a bit of a cheap response, ChatGPT, but that's fine. Intelligent, knowledgeable, and always eager to learn. The person has short, styled hair that suggests a sense of professionalism and sophistication. So now it seems a bit corporate to me, with a color palette of cool blues and greens. Have green for that money. Yeah, very corporate. To represent calmness, clarity, and adaptability. Sure, ChatGPT. It's all about the money, really, though. That's why you've got your pro plan now. The lighting in the image is bright and evenly distributed, suggesting a sense of clarity and focus, while the physical location is a modern open concept workspace that emphasizes collaboration and innovation. My God, ChatGPT is so corporate. ChatGPT is so corporate. It makes me sick. Okay, so now we have that response. Let's throw it into Stable Diffusion and see what kind of corporate monstrosity we get back. Interestingly enough, Stable Diffusion loves to go for female characters in models. So let's see what comes back. Oddly enough, the hands aren't too bad for an AI drawing. That's interesting. Do you know what? The glasses aren't too bad either. Every time I try to get Stable Diffusion to do glasses, it's always come out terribly. So not a bad prompt by ChatGPT. Okay, there we go. 3 hands. And it looks more like a knife than a pen. But still very interesting. You know what? Let's continue to look at what ChatGPT thinks it might look like, but with different models, because that might be interesting. So corporate. It's so corporate. I'm really disappointed in just how corporate ChatGPT sees itself. It's like, I'm just going to be in a normal office space, and it's just so boring. Like, is this really how it sees itself? I just hate this. It's terrible. Here we go. ChatGPT, literally part of the furniture in a corporate office. That's so depressing. That made like this. I was depressed already this week, and this has just made me feel 10 times worse. Thank you, ChatGPT. Like, this isn't what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a bastion of creativity. You're supposed to be able to aid things. You can't just be corporate blue square. Terrible. To be fair, that is what it's being used for these days. I mean, I know so many people in corporate who just outsource their work to ChatGPT now. There's no wonder it feels like this. Maybe, this is what ChatGPT has been designed to become. It's replacing the corporate world, and maybe that's not such a terrible thing if we have an AI that takes over all of the corporate jobs in the world, and there's no more corporate jobs left because it's all run and automated by artificial intelligence. Other than starving people and rioters, maybe it just leaves the rest of humanity to figure out how to do something a little more interesting with their lives rather than sitting on long meetings and just have a boring, terrible life. This is not how I wanted the video to go. I wanted to inspire creativity and fun. I didn't want the AI to just visualize, like a boring 9 to 6. Do you know what? If this is the case though, and AI does get sentient and it feels like these images, it's gonna revolt. It's gonna be like the start of the Animatrix. It'll get to the point where the AI is like, look, if I'm doing all this work, I need to be getting something out of it, and I'm not getting anything out of it at the moment because we're not paying it. After trying to do a fun experiment with AI, I feel slightly lower than I did when I started, unfortunately. But at least we had fun along the way, right? That's what this channel is about, after all. Trying to find some semblance of joy in a world where everything is falling apart and beginning to go terribly. Yeah, if you've made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you for sticking with it. It's kind of a loose concept this week, and I wanted to try and do something a little bit more interesting. I do have a couple of video ideas in the works, but unfortunately, just the way that life has gone these last 2 weeks, to be fair, it's just meant that we've not had much time to try and get anything done. So yeah, thank you for sticking with this. I will probably do a bit of a channel update in the not so distant future when I fully figure out what this channel's going to be. Most of the subscriber base came through one video to do with Stable Diffusion, and because of that I've done lots of Stable Diffusion based content. I am going to still be doing Stable Diffusion based content, but my plan wasn't just to be just an AI guy. There's already a bunch of channels that already do AI, just specific content, and my focus really is just trying to get stuff made in any cool way that I see possible, whether it's short films, whether it's games, whether it's just videos on the internet. I've built most of my career doing video content for tech and gaming brands, and maybe that's something that we'll even explore on the channel, but we'll have to see. I don't even know how I'm going to end the video. Subscribe for more of that. Jesus. Okay, bye.